DEUCES WILD from Mexico, pendejos!
Oh, what are you doing down there, son?
Pickleballing, dude. We got a whole crew from Tahoe out here living it up. Pickleball about 6 hours a day. We go 4 hours in the morning. We follow it up with a lunch, cold plunge, and recovery session by the pool, and then back to the pickleball courts for a couple more hours of drill session, back to the crib, hit a little trail run, whatever, and then big dinners at night and plenty of entertainment down here in Baja.
I see. Red Solo Cup. I fill you up. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So, Thrill, you're in the garage tonight. You're firing me up. These are my favorite shows. So we'll get to that in a minute. We'll talk about swings. We'll talk about mechanics. We'll talk about setups. We'll talk about loads, all of it. We'll disprove some theories while proving other theories. But first, let's start off with the San Francisco Giants. Got walked off that last day in Anaheim. We have, what is it, the Brew Crew in San
Yeah.
Francisco right now. What have you been seeing from the Gigantes, who obviously not only the Giants, but the other teams in the NL West, with the exception of the Colorado Rockies,
Yeah.
have
No,
started off hot?
no, you're right. And, here we are, in April 22nd, and the Gigantes have still not played in their division yet. And they've been on the road. They've been road warriors. So, I think I looked at it the other day. They had, I don't know, 18 road games, and, the closest to them had, 9 or 10, something like that. So they've been doing a real good job on the road. Went to Anaheim and had a little hiccup on that Sunday game. Ryan Walker gave it up. That shit happens. Just didn't have his great stuff. They got a few doinks in there. And we wound up losing that series. First series of the year we've lost. But then they turned right around, and then they got the Brew Crew in town, and they win game one yesterday, and then they're getting ready to kick off game two tonight.
Specifically, from an offensive standpoint, what have you liked? What have you seen that this team's been doing well?
One of the things that I've seen, and I've talked to Pat Burrow 2 or 3 times and gave him a big pat on the back. He's doing a great job. Nice job, Pat. But the approach of the guys, more up the middle, the other way, kind of taking what you're given and not trying to do too much, not trying to hit a 3-run homer every time. And as a result of that, they're getting better pitches to hit. They're using the whole field. And, you're getting the right guys up at the right time. Wilma Flores started out extremely hot. He cooled off a little bit, and then he whacked a go-ahead homer last night. So hopefully he gets back on that wave again,
Yeah, the oppo approach of this team is as good as I've seen it since, basically I've been watching baseball in the past however many years. It seems like so many teams these days are talking about pulled fly balls. That's the
Yeah.
new evolution of
Yeah.
hitting. I want to hit the ball in the air on the pull side. Thrill, I'll tell you, when I tried to hit the ball in the air on the pull side, I pulled that motherfucker back behind me into the third deck.
You're
But
gonna
it
you're
wasn't
gonna
doing
do
me a
two things.
favor.
You're gonna do two things. Exactly what you said. You're gonna freaking yank the living shit out of one, or you're gonna take that ball away and you're gonna top it and have a piece of shit roll out. So yeah, I mean, using the whole ballpark and expanding your vision, expanding, sitting on pitches and going with them, that kind of thing. First off, it makes you a better hitter. Second off, it makes you a tougher out. And Tommy Luke, I moved Trey's car out the garage because it was a little close to the tee for me, and I didn't want to have to whack Trey's car.
Be sure not to whack one of the dead animals that you have hanging on the wall
Yeah, no,
either.
I got some animals back there. Matter of fact, Big Mike, Josh, Tommy Luke, they've seen those guys. So they
So,
those guys back there, not on this side. Not only do they look good up on the wall, they tasted real good too.
Deer jerky, is that what you do with the deer?
Oh, we do everything. You name it, we do it, brother. We do it
What else?
all. Burritos, tamales, sausage, ravioli. Uh,
Deer sausage?
oh yeah, oh yeah. Deer
Really?
hamburger. We got Italian sausage. We got all kinds of shit.
Isn't deer like lean meat?
Yeah, it's lean meat, so you got to add a little like pork to it, like a little fatty pork, and that gives you a little fat content. So when you cook it, it doesn't dry out.
So let's go back to the poolside fly ball thing because
Yeah.
I hit a lot of them, and
Andy Moe, straight regular baseball bat, 35, 33, Jack.
so that's the bat you're swinging.
That's what
35,
I'm swinging.
33 Louisville Slugger that we tape. Like kids today don't tape their shit,
So,
right?
so the only reason that you tape it right here, okay, is because you hit so many balls. You guys can see all the marks right here, but you hit so many balls right there that what happens is the grains of the let me get out here. The grains of the wood will start chipping and splintering, and your bat will basically come apart on you. So if you put a little piece of tape on it like this, a little athletic tape, it hangs in there a lot better.
So back in the day, Thrill, when you played, everybody swung ash. When
Yeah.
I was playing, everyone transitioned to maple, and you could thank Barry Bonds for that. And then yellow birch was introduced. Do you have any thoughts about the different wood types? And if you were to play today, would you be swinging maple, ash, yellow birch, or whatever?
I'd probably be swinging maple because maple came out in 2000,
Yep.
and when I still had some bats left over with the Giants, so I was still swinging ash. But when I got traded, excuse me, I'm sorry, with the Orioles, when I got traded over to the Cardinals, they ordered me maple, and I had no problems with it. I love the maple. Matter of fact, in the 3.5, 4 months I was with the Cardinals, I think I broke one bat. So.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, just the different woods and stuff like that. But you know, for me personally, it was about the skill and wanting to perfect the skill, and that goes back to what you and I have talked about, and everybody in the chat room knows about the torpedo bats and all that. It's like, wait. You're giving a guy a crutch because he can't fucking hit. It's like, hey, learn how to hit, goddammit.
All right. So there's been a lot of back and forth between the two of us over this past week. And basically, you've been sending me different things from different hitting coaches and their
Yeah,
philosophical
yeah.
points of view. What's the number one thing that bothers you about what these modern day hitting coaches are teaching?
So the big thing that I would like to see is more, level and coming down through the ball, down through it, and getting on plane with the ball, right? And we had talked about this. You guys in the chat room, y'all know y'all have heard this before. If the ball's coming this way and I'm going this way, my contact doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. I can hit it here, 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 and still hit the crap out of it. If I'm coming this way and if the ball's coming this way and I'm coming this way, my point of contact has to be absolutely perfect. And if it's not, I still can hit one straight up in the air, or I can top it and roll over, or just swing and miss the whole thing. And so for me, all of this bullshit that these people are teaching, it doesn't matter whether it's Teacher Man or all the rest of the fucking morons that are out there. It's like they're okay with strikeouts. It's like strikeouts is okay. You can go ahead and strike out 180 times. It's like, dude, you don't get it. You don't get it. If Eric Byrnes was hitting in front of me and Eric Byrnes was on a pace to strike out 100 times, he and I would have a little chat in the back of the plane. I'd be like, hey, dude, you're killing the team here. You're killing me because I can't drive in any runs, and I can't set up the guys behind me because you're never the fuck on base. But if I got a leadoff hitter, number two hitter, they know how to work the count, get on, Brett Butler kind of thing, Vince Coleman kind of thing. Why do you think those guys that hit behind him every year drove in 100 runs every year? And motherfuckers were on base all the time. So,
Yeah.
I am not happy with the lackadaisical approach about striking out. It's like, it's okay, it's okay. You know, Brandon Belt used to drive me crazy. I wanted to fucking punch him every fucking time. It's like, God damn it, give a fucking rat's ass and battle your ass off in there.
Yeah, he was a tough one because he took so many pitches. And he'd take a lot of called third strikes because he had a very good awareness of the strike zone. But, dude, the problem is, you know as well as I know, when you have two strikes, you have to expand because you can't leave it up to the umpires.
Yeah, and
And
you see it in kids ball because some of the high school games that I've seen around here are fucking atrocious. I mean, these guys are calling shit in the other batter's box. I'm like, dude, that's fucking a foot and a half off the plate. How can you miss that call? You know, and I know you're seeing it in the LTP kids too, but you know, hey, it is what it is. But you know, look, with two strikes, I'm battling, I'm grinding the whole time, and I'm gonna try to fight some shit off to get back in the count. Maybe I can get a mistake.
so I told the kids this past weekend, I'm like, look, if you swing and miss in an at bat, you're telling me a couple things. Number one, your timing's off, and number two, you're getting too big. So if that's the case, the simple basic adjustment is spread out just a little bit more and give me a quarter inch on the bat. That's it, a quarter inch. And I'm talking if this is the first strike, the second strike, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Make an adjustment. Let's get in the hitting position, ready to launch by the time the pitcher's hand's right here, and trust your training. Trust your athletic ability and all the balls you've hit in the cage or where else. The last thing that I want to see, though, is all of a sudden you're there, big leg kick, you're late, strike one, next pitch, you're there, big leg kick, you swing and miss, strike two. It's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
have to wait for two strikes?
Yeah.
Make an adjustment, and then we can figure out where we are and go from there. But it simplifies it when you spread out a little bit and choke up a little bit. It gives you barrel control, and the spreading out prevents the head from moving.
Yeah, and then guess what? So you guys in the collectors and you know all that sort of stuff, you might see some of the baseball cards. So here I am, ready to rock. I got my palm, edge of my palm kind of on the knob of the bat, right? This is full leverage launch, the whole works, right? As soon as I get two strikes, that's what you got right there. You got that space in there, and that gives me a little bit more maneuverability of the barrel of the bat to grind out this at bat to stay in it.
What's crazy is that I never noticed you ever choking up. Yet, I know myself, I would choke up and you probably wouldn't have ever noticed. But again, like it was a quarter of an inch, and then it was probably about a half inch when I got to two strikes. And it was a simple thing. It's just, it's physics, man.
Yeah.
This now becomes more controllable.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you're taking your A swing and you're perfectly on time on strike one and you just happen to foul it off, I mean, all right, one click on top. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. I'm not going to say make an adjustment. But when I see you're late and I see this dipping, now we got to make a real adjustment. And you have to get control of the barrel. And then, again, the other thing, because I'm watching from the third base coach's box. So I'm here and I'm seeing heads move, dude. I'm like, get your weight. I like to say inside of the back knee. So when we come down, we're here. We're tall, the head's still, and then you fucking go.
And then that's the thing. You made a perfect point right there. You're tall. As soon as you stay tall like that, you use your leverage. When you stay tall like that, your head doesn't bob, your head doesn't move. So when the ball's coming at you, you don't see one of these numbers. You see the freaking ball travel the whole time. And that's what it means to stay tall, quiet, all that sort of stuff. You even brought it up, physics, okay? Look, I took engineering in college, and they taught us this, about, equal and opposite, equal and opposite power, baby, power. If the ball's coming this way, I'm going that way. All right. So now all of these idiots that are up there, and let's say it's coming from me, okay? All these idiots that are up there and are stepping this way right here. Well, you're losing all your power, you're losing all your leverage, you're losing everything because you're not going back through the baseball. So we'll talk about that tonight too.
Um, okay. When it comes to, let's just start here,
All
like
right.
a setup or a load. If you're talking to a 12-year-old or you're talking to a 24-year-old big leaguer, what would you tell them about their stance?
First off, I want them to be comfortable. All right. We were always taught shoulder width apart, or give or take a few inches either way, narrow, wider, but basically shoulder width apart. Okay. Hands. One of the things about the hands are the lower they are, the more you got to work your ass off. All right. The higher they are, the more it's easier to get on plane, stay on plane really quick, and go from there.
You started your big league career with your hands low. And
Yes.
then later in your career, they were up here. And
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, it sort of coincided with the weight on your back foot. You'll
Yeah.
do the rock back thing. I would
Yeah.
here. Let me get it like this because I want you guys to see the foot, but where the heel, you come up on that heel a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
Uh,
You'll see it. You'll see it when I do it here in a minute. But one of the things that we always talked about, I called it. Dusty and I worked on this because I started down, and sometimes I wouldn't get up high enough, and so Dusty was like backing up, and so I called it a reverse C. So I'm going backing up, backing up. When I land, that's where I'm at, right? So now you and I even talked about it. So now I have all these conversations with all these guys at first base. And Tony Gwynn tells me, hey, look, when you're going backing up, if it's a high fastball, just keep going up a little bit more and you're on playing with the high fastball. Made all the sense in the world. And that's how, I got to hit off of Mitch Williams and shit like that. Because I got my hands up higher than what I had before.
I've never really heard that until you told me that for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't think about the correlation of a high fastball and exactly where my hands were, but it makes total sense.
And it's not that big of a deal if you're going like this, going like this, going like this, high fastball, boom, just a hair higher. I mean, you're talking about that much higher, and then but yet you're on plane with the ball already.
Uh, so Thrill. So now you're there, right? The hands in a comfortable position. Um,
One of the things that I have problems with, and you see this from a kid standpoint, is a lot of dead movement. So boom, right here, and don't
yeah.
move and nothing, and go from here. It's like, no, dude, you gotta get something rolling. You gotta move or do something or anything to get you a little momentum. All right, if I'm a boxer, I'm not gonna try to freaking hit you, as hard as possible with a freaking piece of shit. I'm gonna try to fucking load that son of a bitch up. Same thing in baseball. I gotta fucking load it up to get my best freaking game off.
I love that, dude. And it doesn't matter what you're doing, even pickleball. I'm thinking about it now, but it's like I'm getting ready in this split step position. I'm about to have 70 miles per hour fired back at me from 30 feet away. And it's just, right? Like you
Yeah.
are all of a sudden, you're here, it stabilizes. It is funny because it come whether it's hitting or you're receiving, a ball coming this way at you, but it's this split step, bam, dials you in, quiet head movement, athletic position. This really isn't hard. And what's crazy is that whether I'm a point guard in basketball, whether I'm a linebacker in football, a running back in football, you could go on and on in all these different sports, right? A professional tennis player, pickleball, whatever. You have to get in that athletic position. Not only that, you're here and and all these other sports, like you're getting on your toes and any movement's going to be
Yeah.
and just launch
And
ready to go.
you're kind of equating pickleball with kind of getting ready on defense in baseball. You know,
Yeah,
you
the
get
same
ready and
thing.
you kind of bounce into it and you get a little momentum going. You're doing the same thing with, pickleball, expecting the ball to come to you, just like we're expecting the ball to come to us on the ground. Same kind of thing.
It's funny because any athletic thing that we do kind of comes down to this having this great athletic base. Now, hitting, I think personally, I think it's the same thing, but obviously this is a rotational movement from there. So, all right, we have the setup where you say anywhere from shoulder width apart, or I would say wider, depending on comfort. If I have a kid though that's shoulder width apart, which is pretty narrow for me, but this is what is going to keep him on balance the entire time, I'm not going to say a fucking word. But
Yeah,
the minute I see the kid lunging at balls
right.
for whatever reason late, now we got to make an adjustment.
Right. And I'm not saying it has to be that way. What I'm saying is be comfortable, but
Yeah.
don't get crazy with it. And these spread out guys that I see and all that shit. Hey, dude, you're losing your leverage. You're
Yeah.
losing all that stuff. And those are also those guys that are spread out because they're already spread out. When they take the stride, that's when that head freaking ducks in and stuff like that.
I have a question though to counter this a little bit. How the fuck did Ricky Henderson do it? Because he
Oh,
was spread out
dude, he
and
was
he
so
had the head
gifted.
ducked.
He was so gifted. That was first off, and then he had, he wasn't big. He was 5'8", so he had a small center of balance, center of gravity. So he didn't have to freaking be tall. He was small already. He was
Well,
just he was a fire hydrant, dude.
yeah. I do. And remember this, and it goes to the same thing you were talking about before. But like with the movement, like
Yeah,
he had this. That surely would be one of the biggest pieces of advice that I would give to any kid out there. Find your thing because your thing's not necessarily going to be what Will Clark's thing was or
that's
what Ricky
correct.
Henderson's thing was, or even think about Barry Bonds,
Yeah.
in what he did. Um,
But here's the thing: look at some of the best ever. All right, hang on. Let me get this glove on. I'll show you real quick. All right. Look at a guy like Rod Carew. He had it laid out like this. He had it laid out like this. But then when he took his stride, wham, it went right there. Pete Rose, he was right here, right here. Took his stride, wham, he was right there. Carl Yastrzemski had it up high. When he took his stride, he was right here. So, you go back and you start slowing down some of these guys' swings, and kind of everybody did the same thing in some fashion or another. They had different setups. They had different, ways to go about it. But when they got to the hitting position, everybody was 99.9% in the same general vicinity.
Even Babe Ruth, we watch those old videos and he's like
Mhm.
this, and he's here, and then all of a sudden it's
Boom. Yep. That's it right there. That's it right there, brother.
okay. So I mean, just because we have you in the garage, let's continue to break down before we get you up and swinging and taking hacks. Let's go to the next part. So we talked about the stance, we got to the base, we talked about where the hands, we talked about rhythm. Now let's
All right,
get
let's
to
let's wait. Let's go there, right? All right. And the reason being, this is an important part. Okay, rhythm and feel. That is being phased out of the game now. Everybody is worried about mechanics, 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 mechanics. It has nothing to do with rhythm, feel, timing, and basically being an all-around hitter looking for pitches. All right, this guy threw me 5 pitches away my last at bat. I'm gonna look for something away this at bat. Those kind of things are being phased out the game now, and now everybody's just looking for a high heater and go getting them. But I'm just the reason that I'm gonna go over a lot of this stuff is because so many people are mechanically freaking crazy right now. Okay, all these idiots that are teaching this bullshit that they're teaching, you know, they got no fucking earthly idea. You never see one of them motherfuckers swinging at something that's moving. It's always something, you know, that's off the tee and all that sort of stuff. I'm gonna hit off the tee for you right here in a minute, but if I had Trey down here and we needed to have a big time session, I'd let Trey throw me a little BP and we'd go from there. But the thing is, that's how it was back in the day. We didn't have all this bullshit. We had feel. Oh, that didn't feel right. What the hell happened there? You know, all right, let me try this again. And then get right back in the horse. You know, so, you know, the game's changed quite a bit, and especially the feel and the rhythm and the timing.
Where were you with grip pressure?
Loose. So I was loosey goosey, clamp down.
Mm.
Right when I did my load and I'm ready to launch, that's when I clamp down.
So
But
check this out.
up until then, it was just nice and easy. And you'll see it, you know, and I kind of got my fingers going kind of everywhere, and then wham, lockdown.
So I used to do this with my fingers as well. And Thrill, the reason why I did those fingers was because of you.
Well, and then guess what? Guess what? I even asked Tony about it. I was like, "Do you do it?" He goes, "Oh, hell yeah." He goes, "I don't do it to the extent that you do it." He said, "But
Yeah.
I'm kind of loosey goosey up there." So,
Well,
I mean,
sometimes you just notice it more. Like I said with the choking up, I choked up all the time. But if you go back and watch my at bats, it doesn't look like I'm choked up.
yeah. All right. Here's one for you because you know him real well. He lives up by you. It's fucking, you know, Eucalyptus. You know what was that bullshit? Let me see. It was like this, like this, like this. But then he'd slide his hand down. So there's no way he can slide his hand down and be locked up like this. He slid his hand down. He's nice and loosey goosey. He's ready to get going.
Well, you talk about feel, and this is why I'm very cautious to tell one kid how to hit a certain way. And I
Right.
get to know the kids, and then I work within the confines of what's your most comfortable stance? Where are your hands? Where do they feel the best? And hey, some of them might be down here, some might be way up here, but kind of like what Dusty Baker told you, I try to simplify things for them. Well, okay, so your hands start here. I know you say you're comfortable, but what if we even just rose them to here? Because at least now we don't have to go from here all the way to here. We could go from here to here. Simplify
Hey,
it.
look. You have the patience of Job dealing with 11 and 12-year-olds. I'm telling you that right now. All right, I don't deal with them. All right, I deal with the professional 18 to 25, 26-year-olds, and you know, so I talk to them a completely different way than you talk to the kids. But yeah, it's just the fact that, hey, look, dude, I'm trying to get you to get comfortable, have a little rhythm, repeat a swing. Don't do something different every time you freaking cut it loose. Try to repeat what you did the last time, and then all of a sudden the shit's gonna start going haywire for you.
Yeah, I think that like is everything is the ability to have a consistent setup, have a consistent hand position, have a consistent load, and then make tiny adjustments within that. I mean, adjustments that if you and I are watching on TV at home, you would never know. But I know, I would just make a little tiny adjustment for, say, taking my hands from here to here, and it felt like fucking way higher. And really, it's only 1 inch. So, again, it goes back to having the consistent base, the consistent hand position, the consistent load, the consistent setup, and then ideally, that's bringing consistent results. Let's talk about the swing now.
All right, what do you want?
When you go, where are you when it comes to getting to that launch position? Because
Okay.
I was early where when I saw the hand here, I wanted to be here.
Yeah.
Just here, and then let all the energy go to my eyes so
Right.
I was able to see the baseball.
Right. So here I am, I'm loosey goosey, and then I go backing up, right? And as soon as I get backing up, then all hell's getting ready to break loose. Now, what I want to do is I want to go forward, all right? But I want to go forward, but not too far forward. I want to like hit a brick wall almost. And for me, Dusty even said it. It was staying behind your front knee. You'll see it when I take a few swings. I'll stay behind my front knee, and everything starts to flatten out coming through. All right, another thing too. Let me show you this. Let's see. Yeah, here it is right here. All right. One of the things that we talk about is that back elbow getting trapped. All right,
Yeah.
let me see if I can do this. Here
I
it
did
is
a
right
whole
here.
I didn't send it to you, but I did a whole video on this yesterday
Yeah,
from
yeah.
last week's show.
So you're right here, and when you cut it loose, so here I am, I'm backing up. I want to clear that elbow. There's space in there for me to get that elbow through there. It's not this. Look what happens as soon as I trap that back elbow. Look what happens. The barrel of the bat drops. Okay. As soon as the barrel of the bat drops, you're under the ball again. Now you got to fight to get the fuck on top of it, and that's where all of the haywire shit goes. So that's why I made sure that when I had my move, I cleared that elbow and got it through there, and I didn't get stuck up under here. Because as soon as you stick, look, that freaking shoulder drops, the barrel of the bat drops, and that's what these idiots are teaching now. They're teaching this fucking shit where you fucking hit the catcher like this. Look what happens to your front elbow. Your front elbow comes up, your back shoulder goes down. What the fuck you think's gonna happen? There's no way you can get on top of a high fastball unless you fucking roll. These fucking
Okay.
idiots, they got no fucking clue what happens with a baseball that's moving. That's why these motherfuckers never played. Fucking Shank and all the rest of these piece of shits. Y'all are trying to fucking teach, and you can't teach because you couldn't fucking do it on your own. But I'm gonna show you how it's fucking done, motherfucker.
All right. So when it comes to finishing the swing, you were an infamous one-handed finisher with what we call the cape.
Yes.
How did that come about?
You are trying to create all of this momentum going through. I mean, you're trying to freaking get through it as freaking quick as possible, as accurate as possible, and all that. But then you run out of room. You can't go anymore. Your freaking arms cannot go anymore. All right. So where do I go from here? Well, the only thing you can do is you can roll and come out of it, or you can get through it and then try to stay on that plane, let go of the bat, and then follow through. And that's kind of what I did.
So in 2007, I had a conversation with Charlie Loud Jr. and really interesting, actually. And he talked about his dad and his dad's hitting philosophies and everything else. And he would ask me, he's like, you finish with one or two hands. And I'm like, dude, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's two and sometimes it's one. Is well, look, like, let me show you what these benefits are. And this was like my dad's main thing. And just trust me, and George Brett and all this stuff. So I read Charlie Lau's book on hitting. And I then went and applied that next season. Now, I worked with Kevin Seitzer a lot, who was our hitting coach with the Arizona Diamondbacks, who's done a terrific job and had a great career, not only as a player, but as a hitting coach, and told him about what I was trying to do. And he's like, Bernsey, you're onto something. Well, I went out there and had what was the what two of the best years of my career. Is actually the conversation with Charlie Lau Jr. happened in I was '05 at the World Series in Detroit. Detroit, is that it? No, because no, Detroit was '06. So it was in '06. And the whole idea and concept of finishing with one hand was what you were just talking about. Is you're here, here's one option, and then here's the other option. What's going to force me to stay on that plane, to get that carry, to create that backspin, and get the most out of my potential?
Exactly. Exactly. And you know this, everybody in anybody in the chat room knows it. I was, my idol growing up was George Brett. And so don't think I didn't know about Charlie Lyle's theories and all that sort of stuff. But it makes all the sense in the world. Is like I'm creating all of this momentum to go through. Why would I want to either stop it or slow down and cut it off and get out of it? I want to get through it and stay through it as long as possible and then get out of it.
The only option from a two-handed thing, I would say only option, because dude, there's plenty of guys that finish with two hands that have hit all sorts of home runs and all those things. But when I would finish with two, I would be here, and then I literally, when I was on and finish with two, I here and I would finish high.
Yeah,
Like, because it would force the same sort of thing to stay through it
yeah.
after you already hit the baseball.
When it's high, it's easier to stay through it. When it's low, oh, dude, you're going to cut it off and hit a ground ball. So there you go.
Okay, we
All right,
have you in there. What do you want to work on? What do you want to specifically get into when it comes to hitting a baseball here?
let's go over the little things that we just talked about. We'll go over setup. We'll go over like hand position. We'll go over head. All right, staying on plane, and for sure we'll go through and I'll show you the staying through it all the way through it. And then we'll also go with the load. I'll show you the load, and then I'll show you different kinds of loads.
I love it. Let's do
All
it.
right. So let me get loose. It's going to take a sec.
Now, Thrill, how many months are we off of hip surgery? Knee
I didn't hear
replacement
you. What
surgery
you
now.
say?
How many months are we off of the knee replacement surgery?
We are 9 weeks removed from knee replacement.
How's it feeling?
It's feeling pretty good. Matter of fact, at week number 6, they wanted me to start taking a few swings to kind of, I guess you want to say, work on rotation, because all the stuff we were doing was just straight, kind of at you kind of thing. And now they wanted to work on torque and that kind of thing. So it's working out all right.
Hey, do me a favor. Can you regale us with your on deck routine?
My on deck routine was pretty simple. I mean, I walked up there, I always had a weight on the bat. Sometimes I put 2 weights on the bat, and I just swung it real quick, and kind of gave it around and all that sort of stuff. And then I'd put them on the ground, and I'd stand there like this, and I'd watch Robbie Thompson's every move, every pitch during his at bat, because I wanted to see a pattern before I walked up to home plate.
Did you time the pitcher up in the on deck circle?
Sometimes I did if it was a guy that I had never seen before or a guy that I've had problems with, I would actually stand there and go, yeah, right there. Yeah, right there, that kind of thing.
Love it.
So, all right, so here we are. Okay, you got me? Can you hear me? No problems?
Great.
All right, so here's another thing that people don't talk about anymore. Why stand in front of the batter's box when you want to see the ball as long as possible? All right, so there's a line in the back of the batter's box. I'm kind of a little bit taller guy. I stood not too far from the line and on the corner of the plate. That's where I had my front foot. It was on the corner of the plate. When I took my stride, my foot was supposed to land on the front of home plate. If it went further than the front of home plate, I knew I was overstriding. That's why you always saw me messing in the dirt and doing this kind of thing, because I wanted my footprints to have a feedback if I was overstriding or not. Make sense?
If there was a slower pitcher, would you move up in the box?
I would. But then, those guys are kind of far and few between, but like a Gene Garber through 84, 85, I'd move up on him.
Yeah, because by the time you get to the big leagues, for the most part, everybody throws hard. But I was telling the LTP kids, we had some shit baller thrown against us, and I told them, get in the fucking front of the box, man. Take it away.
Yeah.
Because he was getting everybody with this slow-ass curveball, and get it before it breaks. Don't give him a chance to use his best weapon against us. Let's take his best weapon and counterattack this thing, get on the dish, scoot up in the box, and go.
Yep, there you go. All right, so here we go. All right, so walk out to from the on deck circle, get in here. I know where my spot is. All right, I always touch home plate because I knew when I touched home plate, I knew exactly how much of the plate I could cover with my bat. If I wanted to move up on the plate because I was going to expect something away, I'd freaking be sneaky about it, and I'd put my bat down, and I'd be another 2 or 3 inches closer to the plate, and I could cover that much more on the outside part of the plate. Okay, so that's walking up to the plate and getting situated in the batter's box. Touching home plate gives you a feedback of where you're standing.
Yeah.
So you should do it all the time, some sort of way or another. What we talked about before is wham. All right, let's get comfortable. Here I am. I'm shoulder width, maybe a hair further apart. All right, I don't want to get way down here because look what happened. My head already dropped. All right, I'm tall. Now my head already dropped. Okay, I don't want that to happen. I want to keep my leverage. I want to keep my height. All right, so now a lot of people nowadays, okay, and let me show you this one. All right, so if I am going to hit, I'm going right back at you. Wham. Everything is going right back at you. Now I'm starting to see these guys that are kind of open like this. You see it too, Burnsy. And
Yep.
these guys never close up and they stay open and they hit like this. It's like, dude, you're a dead pull hitter, first off. And then second off, you can't hit anything away. They're going to kill you. All right? So if you're gonna start open, all right, you better find a way to close up a little bit to be able to hit that outside corner. All right. Anything? You got anything on that?
Oh yeah, I told my kid that this weekend. I'm like, bro, you want to start open all you want, that's fine. But I'm just telling you, it's taken a longer time for you to get back here than if you just started here. We could go here. I'm not. I'm about keeping it simple. And when you get to the big leagues and you have that feel and you find that flow and you want to open your stance and you're able to manipulate all this, right? I mean, that's years of training and repetitions and hitting millions of baseballs to get you to that point. But for the younger generation right now, I think the more we can simplify, the better you will be off.
All right. So here's another one for you. So same thing. That guy that's open like this, right? Okay. If he does close up, a lot of times he closes up too much and he blocks himself off. As soon as he blocks himself off, that is the freaking trap the elbow guy. Okay? So you got to watch where you are there. That's why I just stayed kind of straight and straight. You know, straight and straight. It was like that's the easiest way to get that elbow not trapped in there. You see my elbow just clears it, no problems at all. And I can get to the front of the zone.
You're right, dude. I haven't thought a ton about that, but yeah, it's a very good chance you're going to close yourself off. You'll
You're
close
going
off
to
too
close
much, and
yourself
then you
off.
become
You're going to
trapped.
block yourself off, and you're going to get your hands behind you, is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay? So now, here we go. All right, so we're up here. We got our stance, all that sort of stuff. All right, I'm getting comfortable. I'm loosey-goosey with the hands. I don't grab the shit out of it. All right? I started low. All right? And then here is my timing and rhythm. This is what Dusty and I worked on. You and I talked about it. Was I rocked. All right? Here's the rock. And the bat, you see the bat just sort of twirls around a little bit. I'm nice and loosey-goosey. All right? And I'm getting ready to go. Now I stop, I load, and then all hell breaks loose. Okay? As far as loading goes, all right? We talked about it before. I'd rather be higher than lower. So if I'm here and I'm loading down here, I'm down by my boob, my tit, all right, I'm low. It means I'm going to be coming up. Once I get going, my back head drops. Okay? If I'm higher, if I'm up here, my back head stays high, coming down through it. Same thing as a golfer. All you golfers, perfect example. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Okay. Now, to make sure that I get a complete explosion, complete, Dusty said it, and when he said it, freaking bells went off in my head. It is take your back hip to the ball. So if I'm up here and the ball's away from me, I go wham. I take my back hip to the ball and I drive it this way. All right. If the ball is in on me, I take my hip, full turn, wham, and I drive it this way. Okay. That way you get a full hip turn. You get all your body, all your momentum, everything into the baseball. Make sense?
Yeah, but I've never heard that before. Take
Yeah.
your back
So
hip to
I,
the ball.
I, I can't see what's going on in the chat room because I'm too far away. I'm just yicky yakking here, but let me know if anybody needs to say anything.
Yeah, I'll check the chat right now. It's the first time I've
All
opened
right.
it up. We have we
All
have
right.
a big
Well,
ass crew in there tonight, man.
yeah, no, we got a good crew in there. All right, let me do this. Let me get about 3 or 4 swings in real quick just to see.
Get loose. So good.
It's always the first one. Always the first one. You gotta love it. There we go. Now we got it. Completely different sound when you catch them clean. When you catch them clean, you're like, oh shit, that was it right there. When you miss it, you're like, nah, that wasn't it right there. That's it right there.
Hey, so Thrill, Ryan wants to know, he says, can you talk about driving your hands to the ball with your back hip?
With my what? I'm sorry, I missed that one.
All right, it says, yeah, your screech froze up for a second. I don't think it liked the fast movements, man. Your bat speed was too much. But it says, he says, what is it like driving the hands to the ball? Can you talk about driving the hands to the ball with the back hip? Where
Okay, all
basically,
right, I got it.
I'll follow up with a question: is this coming together, or is this happening and then this happening?
Okay, here we go. So what's happening is I am basically. Did I cut out on you guys?
No, so we still have your audio. Maybe like turn the camera off and turn the camera back on, and that'll reset it. I'm not kidding, dude. As soon as you started swinging, we were getting like a crazy pause in the swing, which actually looked beautiful. Uh, James, and we have all kinds of questions. So we'll start with Ryan first.
Wait a second. I'm gonna log off, and log back on.
Okay, go for it. In the meantime, welcome, or I should say, bienvenidos a Mexico. I am at Senor Bromberg's casita out here in Cabo. And what a fucking setting, huh? The Giants tonight taking on the Brewers. I mean, okay, I got yesterday's score 5-2 winners yesterday. They're in the top of the second, and we got throwback now. But top of the second, 0-0. Giants 15-8, Brewers 12-11 under Pat Murphy. All right, go ahead, Thrill.
I'm on, but I still don't have picture. Y'all got picture?
Yeah, we got picture. I think the picture's coming through the computer.
I see it.
That looks good.
I see
It's
it's
just
freaking stopping and starting and sputtering.
kind of glitchy. Maybe it's, if you go to the settings, there's a camera. There's a camera button, and maybe just like toggle with it.
All right.
It's
Hang
starting
on.
to look a little bit better now.
Hang on. Settings. Ooh.
In the meantime, let's go over the scores around Major League Baseball currently. Uh 5-1 Mets. The Mets have been playing really well. 5-1 Mets over the Phillies are in the bottom of the eighth. The Cardinals 7-4 over the Braves. Braves are somewhat starting to get their act. They're 9-13. The Cards are 9-14. Not sure they're going anywhere. The Rockies 3, the Kansas City Royals 3. The Royals off to a disappointing start. They're in the bottom of the ninth inning in Kansas City, though. Royals 9-14. The Rockies, the bottom dwellers of Major League Baseball, at 4-17. Dodgers 10-7 over the Cubbies. The wind must be blown out at Wrigley. They're in the bottom of the seventh. The Twins 4-1 over the White Sox. Well, the White Sox, the good thing about them is they're not the most dog shit team in Major League Baseball. That title belongs to the Colorado Rockies. 4-1 Astros over the Blue Jays, and then the Angels 0-0 in Anaheim, but with the bases loaded there. No, Pirates have the bases loaded in the top of the second.
You got me or no?
Yeah, we have you. It's still just kind of glitchy
Still cutting
for.
out though.
Yeah, but your audio's working, so I would say let's move
Wait a
forward.
second. I'm gonna reboot and then I'll get.
Well, there he goes. Diamondbacks at home tonight, taking on the Rays. And Tampa is 1-0 over the D-backs. The Rays, I mean, you got to assume when they go to these big league ballparks, and same with the A's, that they enjoy it a little bit more than the other teams, just figuring they're playing in these minor league parks and the accommodations just not the same. I mentioned the Giants 0-0, top of the second inning. And then some finals today. Guardians 3-2 over the New York Yankees. The Padres 2-0 over the Tigers. Padres now 17-7. Tigers, though, still having a good year, 14-10. Tigers are going to win the AL Central. It's a foregone conclusion. That team is legit. Their pitching is fucking awesome. Marlins 4-3 over the Reds. The Marlins are 11-12. Seriously? Good for them. The Reds now 11-13, and the Nationals 7-0 over the Orioles. I'm worried about the O's. This could be an issue. They're 9-13 right now, and I get it. They've had some injuries and some other stuff going on. I just think their pitching's in trouble. Charlie Morton got tagged for I don't know how many runs were given up. I mean, ultimately it was 24 on the day the other day, but they get you could have all the young stud arms, excuse me, not arms, but the young stud bats that you want. Obviously, the Jackson Holidays and the Gunnar Hendersons, and on and on and on. But if you don't have the arms, you're absolutely screwed. Red Sox 8-3 over the Mariners. In the chat room, what do we got here? Let's see. We got Victoria, Battleborn Mike. Battleborn, where you at, man? A lot of going back and forth. Look, the one thing that I'll say when it comes to hitting, as like a lot of these hitting questions started firing in, I I've heard two different theories. For example, Ryan, for the hips, where I've heard the hips go first and then the hands follow, and I've also heard of them coming together. I think ultimately we need to remember this: what happens in our minds and what actually happens in reality oftentimes are two different things. So if we believe in our minds, for example, that we're swinging down to the baseball because that's what everyone said for all these years, then, well, hey, that's fine. If that's putting us in the optimal position to bang the baseball, create the launch angle, get on playing with the ball, and so on. That's where I truly believe we get lost because what in our minds and what reality is. And so this is where a lot of the new school teachers come in and they're like, yeah, but well, hold on a second. Like you're swinging up at the baseball. Well, that's also after, say, for example, like someone like Will, he's here, he swings down to the baseball and then goes through it. But what you guys see is this sort of Nike swoosh. But in his mind, what he's doing is he's swinging down to it, which creates that. Uh, Bill, did you see the Deuces Wild action figure mock up? No. Bill, I got to see it, dude. I got it. Yo, you know what? I think I did see it. Yes. Yes, that was badass, dude. Yeah, thank you. That was fantastic. I don't know how did you how was that done? That's actually going to be my question to you. Yes, very funny, but thank you for that. Let's see here. Oh, AI. Yeah, it looked like an AI thing. Anyhow, news around Major League Baseball. Otani apparently still going to return to the mound. So the question becomes: does he return as a starter, or does he return as a reliever? And then, as Tom House said, should he even return at all? That becomes the big question. Let me hit some lights out here. I don't know. Ooh, all of a sudden this picture got really good. Uh, Pavetta delivers another scoreless start. If you look at the Padres and the reason for the success, this isn't this isn't a secret, dude. If we're able to prevent runs, run prevention, if you think about it, it is everything, not only in Major League Baseball, but just in baseball in general. I don't know where Thrill went. We will continue to try to track him down. He said, I'm coming. The stupid motherfucker rebooted and restarted on me. We'll give him a couple more minutes. We certainly had some fun back and forth between Teacher Man. Let's see. Let's get into this. It's real. I got these videos all week. So so he's talking. Part of that move is interesting because I do everything I can to try to stay as open minded as possible. And so when he talks about like Barry Bonds, for example, like big bat tip, right? So he went here and then here. And so there's part of this action that I certainly understand. But this action here is so fucking over the top that there's no way you can convince me that that's the right move for everybody. Now, if Aaron Judge is able to pull it off, more power to him. Congratulations. Yes. But like Thrill pointed out, look, if you're 6'8", 275 pounds, you're hitting balls that are going to leave Yankee Stadium, and especially to right field at Yankee Stadium. But if you're giving that same sort of advice to a 12-year-old kid that weighs 105 pounds, that's a big different story. Austin, what's up, man? Says the appearance of the barrel dumping is a result of the front shoulder firing through. Yeah, I get it. Bill follows up saying Judge's lazy fly balls go out. Some of them, certainly the ones to right field. I mean, I saw it this weekend. We had a kid, Frank the Tank, we call. He hit a fly ball. I'm not fucking with you guys. The center field fly ball gone. 310-foot fences. Drop five. Frank the Tank weighs over 200 pounds and like creates some crazy. This is a kid that hit. He was a 12U, hit a 456-foot bomb. So yeah, I mean, if you could pull that off and you could do it, great, more power to you. But ultimately, when it comes to hitting and trying to find exactly where you want to be and what you have to do, look, this is you're navigating a journey, and to think that there's just one way to do it is crazy. Um, I think we do have to be a little careful. And I was cognizant when we put together uh, all the clips from this past week because I don't want to attack teacher man just for the sake of attacking teacher man. There's nothing in that for no filter. There's nothing in it for thrill. It doesn't make any sense. But if you want to provide a counter to what he is teaching and then say, wait, hold on a second. are we really looking at this the right way? Uh, I thought that was important. I thought that's important just for the future of hitting because now we're at a point where you have hundreds, if not thousands, of kids that are following exactly what he's doing. What else we got in the chat, boys? If anyone wants to hit the knock button, come on, and we can wait a few more minutes for thrill. But at some point, I got a dinner here. Let's just quickly say what's up. We got James. I don't know what James is doing here. Josh obviously isn't. Linda, Victoria, Tom, Ryan. This is great. I mean, this list goes on and on tonight. Holy shit. Great, great interactions, guys. All right. Let's do one live call for thrill. And let's see what we got. Eh, not before we bring on Battleboard, though. Then we bring them on. Huh. What's
Dude,
up, dude?
don't fucking count the Cardinals out. I've been watching diligently.
Dude,
If
they suck, bro. Come
dude,
on, man.
shut the fuck up. They have the best hitter in the National League currently, and Brendan Donovan. They're hitting. They're
Is he killing?
starting.
Is Donovan killing it?
Oh,
He's
dude, he's
good. I
fucking
like him.
destroying it. He's a savage, dude. He's like you with way less power. He's a savage. Um, their starting pitching has been fucking savage. Their bullpen is garbage. So that that's where they're at right now.
I'm looking at the standings right now, Battleboard.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know. Yeah.
the St.
Well,
Louis Cardinals are 9-14.
about to
They're
be
in a
10.
they're in a they're in a dog shit division.
Yeah, oh yeah. The Central's been dog shit for a long time.
Why do you think that is? Thrill is back.
Hey!
Oh, I got the fucking ass now. Motherfucking piece of fucking shit technology. Leslie Short, you wanted me to change this, you wanted me to change that. Now the motherfucker don't work right.
You
God
look good now, man.
damn it,
You had, dude. It was working.
motherfucker.
It was working perfectly until you started swinging, and the bat speed was too much.
Yeah,
Fucking knock this shit
it,
crazy.
it
God
turned it
damn it.
turned it turned Will and Max Headroom,
Yeah.
which I don't know if you know who that is or not,
I know
Bernsey,
what
but
Max Headroom
Come
is.
yeah,
on, Max
Will
I
does.
Headroom.
didn't
Of
watch that
course.
motherfucker on purpose, by the way. Well, anyway, so long story short, you guys got a very succinct version of what we were trying to do. We were going to
Yeah.
go through, the whole swing and all that. I actually am going to be in Richmond, Virginia next week with our AA team. And the following week, which is the following Tuesday, we will be doing the show. I will have it in the garage. And Leslie, we're going to work this shit out. I'm just letting you know that right now. This is bullshit right now.
Well, it just gets tough because I mean, it's just a lot of it has to do with the speed of the internet, and again, like in the garage, it was bad. But you were watching, right? It was
Oh
perfect
yeah.
until
Well, well,
the
here's the thing.
swing.
So I am hardwired into the internet. I'm not doing anything Bluetooth or anything. I'm hardwired, and because I wanted it hardwired to do those kind of things, Bernsey, what I did was I had my IT dude run me a freaking cable from my office to the garage, which is about I don't know 45 yards. He ran me
Yeah,
45 yards of freaking cable, and then shit happens. Whatever. But anyway. But I'm
whatever.
sorry. I'm sorry to our esteemed audience that we couldn't finish up the garage session. But we will finish up the garage session, even if it's 95 degrees next time we do it.
Dude, you'll get your sweat on in there, no problem.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, let's just finish what we were talking about, though, just from a swing perspective. Um, you know, again, like the routine, the on deck routine, getting up there, the clearing the box. Explain to us again. I know you've told this before, but when you would wipe that thing clean before you got in there.
All right, so let me draw real quick. There we go. So home plate. I'm gonna just make it real simple for you. Home plate is this and that, right? You guys got it? Can you see it?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So what I would do is I would have my foot right here. My front foot would be on the corner of the bag, but not that close. It'd be off quite a ways. All right. But I knew that when I stride, if I went past the front of the plate, I knew I was striding too far. Make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, because you're talking about probably 12, 13 inches right there. I knew that I was going too far. So what I did was I would take my foot and I'd like one of those numbers. I'd clean everything off and then I'd go back to where I started to make sure that I didn't go too far forward.
Interesting.
It's kind
Very.
of a self-check type of thing.
Hey, what about the stretch too? Like this right here, where you're coming to here and you're going here. Like basically the thought and idea of the stride, because it's controversial. It's not, but this comes here, and it creates almost this rubber band effect as the
Yeah.
swing's going to be whipping through the zone.
Well, and then it goes back. It goes back to what we were talking about before about a boxer. It's like boom, boom, one of those numbers instead of and it's the same thing. You kind of walking away from your hands, and then when your hands go, it's like wham, everything comes through, and all hell breaks loose.
All right, Battleborn, what do you got for thrill tonight, man?
His former Cardinals team just won, so that's good.
I
Who's
actually,
Cardinals?
believe it or not, Big Mike, they came up with believe it or not, out of the clear blue, out of the clear blue. I got a phone call from Tony La Russa this week. I
Oh,
mean, I
shit.
was like, oh my God, where's he been? And he said that they did something for the Oakland A's. Eric, you might know about this, where they were remembering like past players so that they wouldn't go off in infamy. It was like they were bringing their legacy to light. And Tony wants to do that with Darryl Kyle, who was one of my
Yeah,
teammates in 2000. Cardinals pitcher that wound up dying in 2002 in his hotel room in Chicago. He wants to bring to light Darryl Kyle, but at the same time, he also wants to recognize myself and Lance Berkman.
Oh,
Lance
yep.
Berkman was in 2011. I was in 2000 as guys that came in from other organizations and kind of really, I guess you want to say, motivated the Cardinals for lack of a better term. And so that's going to be in July, and I'm actually really looking forward to going back to St. Louis and be with the guys.
that'll be
That,
cool, huh? Do you
Mm-hmm.
think do you think they'll show the clip of Ozzie Smith sucker punching you out at second base?
I don't think they're going to show that. This is a stay on the top kind of thing. It's not a come from the bottom kind of thing.
It's not no filter network, is it?
No, not no filter. Otherwise that would have let off the program.
Yeah, then we could talk about Bob Brenly fucking getting after his ass too.
Yeah, no. Bob Brenly, that was off camera. He was pow, pow. Anyway,
So good. Dude,
oh,
I'm looking right now at Jung Hoo Lee. He's hitting 326 with a 972 OPS. What the fuck, man? He's killing it.
yeah, yeah. Hey, look, you know he was slated to be. I mean, from all accounts, he was slated to be our leadoff dude. But he's been such a vital cog in our offense. He's hitting in the middle of the lineup right now. Oh, and speaking of the middle of the lineup, your guy who I'm getting ready to go see, Bryce Eldridge. He had a wrist injury in spring training, and they gave him cortisone, and they were trying to stay away from surgery and all that sort of stuff. Sure enough, they did. They let it calm down a little bit. He just showed up today to Richmond for his first game and proceeded to hit a hanging breaking ball 386 feet for a homer in his first at bat for Richmond.
Awesome.
So I'll have, like I said, I mean, I go to San Francisco on Friday. I'll be there on a Sunday. Then we go to Richmond. I'll be there next week. So I'm going to miss next week's show. But the following week's show, I'll have a Bryce Eldridge and everybody else update on you.
So Eldridge now getting going in the minor leagues. He's been lights out. I'm looking at the Giants lineup tonight. And basically, you got Ramos leading off with a 657 OPS, 219 average. Then you have Adames, 191, 526 OPS. You have Jung-Hoo Lee, 326, 972, which is just off the charts. Chapman is only hitting 228, but he's over 800 with the OPS at 814. Flores hitting 229, but 763 on the OPS, so not bad. He's still getting on base. Matos hitting 161, 478 OPS. VR is 250, 500, whatever. Bailey's a 169, 502. And then I get the Tyler Fitzgerald. He's hitting 318 with an 866 OPS. Why the fuck is he hitting ninth?
Great question. And I will have an answer for you when I get back from San Francisco because I will be asking Bob Melvin that. My big thing that stands out from everybody that you just listed right there, the guy that I have liked and really liked for a long time is Matos. And why this son of a gun is having problems in the major leagues, especially with them throwing more strikes rather than less strikes, I'm thinking that he's doing a lot of like pulling, and that's not the guy he is. The guy he is hit the ball up the middle the other way and pull the hanging breaking stuff and all that. So when I go to San Francisco, I'm gonna have a big talk with Mr. Matos.
And this is a guy I feel like has so much potential.
Oh God, does he have potential? And the thing is, you and I even talked about it. All right, he is the outfield version of Pablo Sandoval. Unbelievable hand-eye coordination, makes contact, always puts the ball in play. But you got to get a good pitch in order to put the ball in play. You can't just swing at fucking everything that comes up there. And I think that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, dude, that becomes the big issue. You got to have plate discipline. I tell the
Yeah,
boys this all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Uh, can you guys do me a favor today? Can we take balls and can we swing at strikes? Ryan, what's up, dude? Welcome to the fucking No Filter Network, motherfucker.
Attaboy, Ryan. Look at you go.
Ah. Can you hear us, dude?
Tonight is the technical difficulties night.
Oh, he's rolling. He's gonna get us. Can you hear me now?
Somebody just got a 2-run single from Milwaukee. They're up 3-0.
Just like that. Ryan checking back in. I mean, I'll leave him there. They keep going. Milwaukee's a good team, man. Just kind of sneaky. They're continue to grind. Yeah, Ryan's tech is about as meh as what you got going on in backwoods Louisiana. I'm in Mexico
Shut
though,
up. Shut up. That's the first time I've had it happen in a while, and I was in the fucking garage. God damn it.
bro. We gotta watch our language
You
now.
can't say
Ryan's
shit
got his
like
kid on
greater
there.
fucking trucky goddamn California.
He's
That
good,
shit,
man. He's
that
good.
shit was truck. That was fucking trucky
He,
tech.
he
Oh,
ran out.
shit.
The kid with too many f bombs, Ryan. You gotta know they're coming, man. Your kid will grow them up fast here on No Filter. Ryan, your tech
Ryan's in
sucks,
and
man.
out.
Try something better. I
Ryan,
don't know.
we love you, but see ya.
Yeah.
All right.
You come on next week and just make sure we got good reception.
Hey, so Battleborn, what's the deal, dude? I mean, like one day you and I talking, it's 80 degrees. Next day, y'all got damn snow flurries and shit like that. What the fuck's going on up there?
That's called springtime in Reno, brother.
Yeah. Hey, you know what else, too? And it came on. It came on tonight. Was believe it or not, I was getting ready to to go into the garage and do all that sort of stuff, and I just happened to pass by the TV. The outdoor channel was on, and they were going fishing for rainbow trout in Pyramid Lake. And I go, I know where that freaking place is. I said, Jared and Mike, they freaking shoot way to shit up the mountain. It's like right over the top of the mountain. That's where that big ass lake is.
Yeah, it's right over the back of Jared's ranch. That is
There you go. I'm
100%.
like, yeah, catch all the fucking rainbows you want while we're bombing your ass.
Dude, I rode
I
my
love it.
bike to Pyramid Lake.
No, seriously?
Yeah, yeah. I got
Damn.
lost. I mean, there's a whole story that goes with that. But I got lost out there. And then the I told you this, Battleborn, but when I'm out at Golden Eagle and Sparks, there's
Yeah.
a shooting range like right by there.
Oh,
And it's
yeah.
fucking it's like duck and cover every time I go out there to watch baseball.
They're not shooting at you, EB. They're not.
Of course not. But what are the chances of one of those bullets flying onto a baseball field from where they're shooting? No
Negative,
chance?
negative, good buddy.
Zero unless they turn around and shoot at you. None. You're good.
Yeah, unless they stand next to you. Hey, the
Ah.
Gigantes need to get going. They only got one hit, so they put together a few walks and a few knocks. They can get back in this thing pretty quick.
I mean, what a great start to the season, though. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
honestly, like it's. How do you see the National League West shaping up through?
We talked about it. I mean, the the Padres, the Dodgers, and even the Diamondbacks, they all start out like a freaking house of fire. And all right, here we go right here. All right, let me see. The Giants have 16 games away from home, and the closest to them is 13, which is the Diamondbacks. Everybody else, like the Dodgers, they got 12 games at home already. The Padres got 13 games at home already. We got 7. So if I'm looking at this correctly, and I don't know if I am or not, our schedule might be backloaded for home games, which might be a good thing.
Why would they do that, though?
I,
Wouldn't you want to put all the early season games
yeah,
on the West Coast as opposed to the East Coast?
I totally agree with you. I mean, and that's why I told you. I mean, New York and Cincinnati. We opened up with the Yankees. We got a Friday off day in New York. We opened up with Cincinnati. We got a Friday off day in Cincinnati. Well, why the fuck don't you open up on the West Coast and not have to worry about missing a Friday night? Because they worried about weather and maybe they'll get a rain out or maybe they get a snow out or whatever the shit it is.
Battleborn, do you have any contributions to this show? Or do I
you
just bring you on here to look like Santa Claus and get us all ready for Christmas?
go fuck yourself, Burnsy. Yeah. Here's my contribution. Rob
Give it to,
Manfred.
give it to me, because right now I'm searching for some ice for my tequila.
All right, find your fucking ice.
Found
Uh,
it.
the bullshit commissioner wants the Dodgers to fucking win the World Series. So he's going to fucking front load them to give them a big fucking lead. That's the way this shit works. It's fucking politics. He backloads the other teams, front loads the Dodgers because that's their fucking golden boy. And well, look, the Giants are still fucking right in the mix. So it's probably going to backfire on him. Um, just saying.
Oh,
Because the one,
by the way, while we're talking about this, and Mike, I agree with you. It's bullshit, and don't think fucking New York doesn't want New York and L.A. to be all that shit. Don't think
100%.
they don't want. So anyway, but Yeah, another thing that I forgot to tell you is um, Friday after the game. I don't know if you guys can get it on the West Coast, especially everybody in the chat room, but they're doing a kite and kite. So it's Dwayne and his brother Glenn, who actually, believe it or not, was one of my roommates back in the day. Um, me and Kipe and Josh, believe it or not, he was with us. Remember, I told you, I said just make sure
Yeah,
y'all get all the beer and y'all just stay in here. Well, Kipe was one of those guys.
that's awesome.
Uh, yeah, but they're doing a show together 20 minutes after the game on Friday night, and it's in the Gotham Club. So I will be the first guest in this show on Friday night. That's first off. Second off is Saturday is Crawford's plaque going on the wall ceremony and all that. So I'll be on the field doing kind of what you and I did for my jersey retirement thing.
So, Thrill, I'm going to have to warn you. If you say fuck during one of the shows, it might not go over as well as it goes over here on No Filter Network.
Hey, no, that's why caution. I have no filter, but at the same time, I clean up my act when I'm with those guys.
Dude, so I'm down here in Mexico. I'm in fucking Mexico. I've had a dozen people come up to me and be like, yo, I love you and Will Clark. Give me more. I listen to you every week. Well, a guy that watches a lot. I had a guy. He's like, of course, the mainly they all watch on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, and they'll watch the short clips. But one guy's like, dude, I religiously every week comes out an Apple. Yeah, like bam, listen to you guys. So that's cool, man. Definitely starting to make some headway. I mean, the people's reaction to you is fantastic, and I just tell them, I'm like, hey. I'm kind of like the guy that just used to wind up the toy. I said my job, so all I gotta do is wind up the toy, and the toys will, and then we
Wait a
let Will
second. Wait, wait,
go.
wait, wait. Wait, you do that, but then I flip the coin on you and I get you going too sometimes.
Every now and again, no, you certainly do. Oh fuck. Um, boys, I got to get down to the circle. We have an 8:30 dinner reservation. I got to meet at the circle at 8 o'clock, so I got 25 minutes to get there. Is there anything pressing on your guys' mind, either one of you, about Major League Baseball, something you wanted to get to, or I don't know, it could be about fucking killing animals like you guys like to do.
Killing animals. Look. I told you, I am seriously baseballing it for 10 days in a row. So I'm going to be out of commission next week. The following week, we are on, and fuck, I don't even know what date that is. But anyway, I'm going to miss next week. The following week, we're on, and I'm going to have all kinds of shit to talk about. And we're definitely going to do the garage again. We got started, we got fucking interrupted, which pisses me off, but we're going to finish that up because we need to. Uh-oh.
Hold
We
on,
got
and
kids in the
Brian,
background. I need to clean it up. I'm sorry.
do we have you?
Hey,
Are you here?
what's up, guys?
Hey,
What's up, man? Who's the little guy?
This is Logan. So, hey, he's the one that Thrill was giving all the drive your hands to the ball feedback to last week, and he's been killing it.
There you go, Logan. That a boy. That's what I'm talking about.
You.
This is
He said he's going to
amazing.
switch his number to 22 next year.
nice.
That's what I'm talking about. Logan, there's a
Lo-
lot of hits in that number. Use them up. Use them up.
Yes,
Uh-oh,
sir.
it's
Logan
Sissy.
Say hi, Charlie.
Hi.
How you doing?
and Logan, do us a favor, man. I'm gonna show you my swing, and then I want you to get up and show me yours. So I was right here. For a little.
All
Let
right,
me see
so stand up.
yours.
Let's see yours, right?
A
Lefty.
lefty,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
Woo!
Nice.
Logan, we can work with that, dude. We can work with that.
Tell him, hey, what'd you do in the cage this week?
I hit a. I
What'd you work on?
I worked on driving the ball.
Driving what?
Cage
Driving
bombs,
hands to
baby.
the ball.
Cage bombs.
What's up, Thrill? Appreciate it,
Hey,
guys. You guys are
right,
great. We love y'all.
where are you guys at, man? Where you guys live?
We're an hour south of Houston,
Super cool. So
Where
you guys
are you, Brian?
and we're close to Lake Jackson in a small town called West Columbia, about an hour directly south of Houston.
Got it. You got it. I go through Houston a bunch, and matter of fact, my wife and daughter are there right now.
Oh, love it, man. Great place.
Yeah.
Hey, we love you guys. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
No, pleasure, man. Keep tuning in, Ryan. I love the questions too.
You
and
got it.
Logan,
Thanks, Thrill.
you keep pull the hands, pass the baseball, barrel follows, tension free barrel release buggy whip.
Tension free barrel release buggy whip, baby. That's what I'm
Hey
talking
Buggy
about.
whip.
Logan. Hey
Tell a buggy whip.
right, real quick, we need to welcome Logan properly to the show. Logan, real quick, one more thing before we let you
Yeah,
go. You
Logan,
ready?
because we love you, and because this is your first time to the show.
And Sissy and Ryan and everybody, you ready?
Here we go.
Ah! Have a good night, kids.
You have been booted. That means we love you,
Oh,
and come back and see us.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Okay.
Battleborn. What
yep.
else you got, man?
Okay, so you say sometimes Will can get under your skin. I always can. Enjoy your fucking ping pong on the tennis court tomorrow.
Oh my
See
God, here
ya,
we
brother.
go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Shut the
Fucking
fuck up. Yeah, you're wasting my time.
grown up fucking badminton. Jesus Christ. Here we
Did
go.
he bring? Yeah, but did Battleborn really bring anything on the show? Yeah, I mean, he came on when you were
Put
gone.
it this way. Put it this way. You brought him on. Why don't you bring on like Josh, Tommy, and people like that? They got fucking
They got to knock. I
me.
bring on who knocks.
Oh, okay. Well, Josh and fucking
That's it.
Tommy, y'all need to knock. God damn it.
Nah, hey, look, man, Battleborn. I give him a hard time. He does look like Santa Claus. Done a good job. Man. He's lost a lot of weight. He looks good.
Dude, he fucking lost a boatload of weight. I'm proud of him for sticking with it. And yeah, no, dude. I mean, we got a core group in the chat room that's solid across. I mean, Linda's there all the time, and Victoria, Joel. I mean, Andy Moe. I mean, I can just keep going through the list. And Tommy Luke, Tommy Aliotti. I mean, dude. I mean, we created a nice little following, but then everybody else follows us like fucking other places. They don't want to
Yeah.
tune into the show on a Tuesday night. It's like, well, whatever.
Yep. On that note, if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, do us a favor. Hit the 5 stars if you like the show and you're entertained by the show. And people try to ask me, all the time, Thrill. They're like, well, like, what is it exactly that you know? I'm like, "Pff, you name it. I said, we talk about baseball. We talk about life. We watch Giants games in real time. We live react. Typically I'd be at home in Lake Tahoe. We'd have the game on in the background doing play by play and commentary. I mean, it's all of it. And, on that note, the Giants, where are we, Thrills? It's still down 3-0?
You know what? I got out of it. Hang on one second. Let me get back in it. 3-1, end of three. So they're going into the
Okay.
top of four, down 3-1.
So they're on the board.
They're on the board.
But yeah, look, there's no way. One of the guys is like, yo, like, what do you get? Like, did you play on the show? What are you going to talk about tonight? I'm like, look, Thrill and I have been going back and forth all week about hitting mechanics, and he is going to be in the garage tonight.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to go over hitting. And it's not every single show, but guess what? As we get into the trenches of what we're talking about, you and I are both really passionate
Yeah.
about hitting a fucking baseball, the proper mechanics of hitting a baseball, and teaching it, and learning in the process. And so that was, we'll get you
We're
back
gonna
in the
we're
garage. We'll get the tech figured out.
yeah, no, we're gonna get the tech figured out. We'll do it again. But it was fun. Not only from my standpoint, getting back out there because it's kind of helping me with my rehab, but then we've been talking about so many of these idiots and this shit that they're teaching and how fucking bad it is. It's like, all right, let's simplify this. Let's go to what a major league hitter learned from not only himself and his experiences, but then everybody that came to first base. And so I'm trying to relay this stuff on instead of, hey, I'm gonna try to fucking hit the fucking catcher upside the head, which is bullshit. So anyway.
Austin, I love it. As I say, I followed on Instagram a while ago and figured out how to get in. I finally figured out how to get in here. Glad I did. It is great. It is cool being a part of the chat. I mean, we have a fucking badass, awesome community. So,
Yeah, no.
all right, Thrill. So off next week. Back to
Off
weekend.
next week, but the following week, I'm gonna have a boatload of shit for you because I'll have seen San Fran and Richmond, and I'll have a bunch of shit for you.
Okay, so we will run Deuces Wild to keep our advertisers happy across the podcast platform. So I will do the show next week. We will have some sort of special guest. I have no idea who the fuck it'll be, but
Josh,
we will be
Josh, you need
we
to
will be
jump
on.
on there and knock because you're the one that gives Burnsy shit. So you need to jump on there and knock.
Let's fucking go, Josh. All right, Thrill. We'll have a safe travels and have a fantastic couple weeks, and then we'll get back on here and cut it loose, man.
Sounds great. Sorry about the technical difficulties tonight, but we will make up for it.
And one last, hasta luego, motherfuckers.
Just like pickleball.